Because he said the first part of that word, so he's using a big chunk, that's what we want students to do. We don't want them to go, we definitely don't want them to look at T and H separately, but if they need to do the TH and then at, like at, that would be okay. But he found a big part, he knows of that. So we definitely want them to find the biggest part they know. So that would not count as an error. All right, so we go to the second page. Can you guys see the picture? You guys see it? I need to take a test, guys. Okay, so there's the picture. So if you're thinking about meaning, meaning is what you see in the picture. Okay? So he said, the little puppy looked. So one of the things that I've been working really hard with this student on is using past tense sentence structure. So that's giving me a little glimmer that he's starting to monitor on whether or not he's reading sounds right, and then looking all the way through to the end of the word. So I know that that's one opportunity that he showed me that the shift that I've been looking for is on his radar. Because we want monitoring and all of that to be on the student's radar, not ours. If we're constantly pointing things out to them, then you're not going to get the shift in the process. Okay? So he said, the little puppy looked, said. Is he using meaning? Does that make sense to say the little puppy looked, said?
No.
No. Okay. So I wouldn't circle it. The little puppy looked, said. Thinking about the way we talk grammatically, would we talk like that? The little puppy looked, said. No. What about visual information? Yes. Okay. And then here, he made the end sounds. What does that tell you? Looking at the word then, what does that tell you? He could be looking, his eyes could be not consistently looking at the beginning of words. And also, the other thing I was thinking about too is that he might be thinking of the word like now. So instead of like then, he could say now. So that actually should be a self-correction. I had not marked it as a self-correction, but it should be. Yes. Yes.
When you were on the word that's, and the first time he said that, and the second time he came back and said that's.
Yes.
That's not a self-correct?
No, it's not. No different than if a child say the word was started and they said like star, start, started. That's all part of their process. So you're looking to see whether or not they look for that big chunk, or if they're doing like at, id. Because you definitely don't want children doing that.
What if they say that might, they go to the next word?
Then it would be a self-correction. Okay. And then you'll see here where I've done like the error, so I mark an error, and then when I make it into a plus sign, that's because they self-corrected. Okay? And then to the next column, this is the SC at the top, that stands for self-correction. So I would mark that he had one self-correction or that he self-corrected there. So, oops, sorry. We said he used possibly, the ending visual information. That's pretty much all we know. And then we can say that he used all of his cues to self-correct that error to then. Sorry? Okay, we'll just continue on this way. So then on the next page, he said, let's see, he didn't make any more errors on this page, but then he said on page 6, he said, the P, and then he went back and he said, Rosie looked. No, yeah, I think it's more anticipated structure that he's expecting it to start with, the puppy, and he probably did not look closely at the text before he started reading. Yeah. Yeah, and part of it is like his nerves were up because he knew we were videoing him, so, that was kind of getting in his way too. But, so if we think about, could we say the, we start a page with the, would that make sense? Would that sound right? Did he use visual information? No, not really. So you would mark that he used meaning and structure. And then we don't really know, it sounded like he said P, so P for looked. We can probably anticipate he was going to say the puppy, even though he would have said P instead of P. So, did he use meaning? We probably don't know enough of, because he didn't say enough, we probably don't know that he used meaning. So, what about structure? No. What about visual information? For P for looked, I would say no. But then he did go back and he self-corrected. No, we need to mark that. I didn't put that he self-corrected. Okay. So he did self-correct it. Because he said Rosie looked. So that's how you would kind of continue through the running record. If you look just kind of at the running record and think about like past tense sentence structure, how did the child do with the past tense? If you're looking at what he said versus what the text said. Who can tell me about his past tense structures? Yeah, he's monitoring, he's self-correcting. It doesn't mean we can leave it alone. It's probably something I still want to keep as a teaching point, but I definitely can also be bringing in some other things. So I would continue to analyze this. It does take a little bit of time, but the more you do it, the faster it gets, and the more familiar you are with books that you reuse, the quicker it gets. Just a couple of notes. If he omits words, then he's really not using any meaning, structure, or visual, because he really should monitor on that and go back and fix it. If you repeat, it's not considered an error. And I try to, the lines you'll see next to the R stands for repeat. So that way I'll know, is he just repeating at the word level? Is he repeating phrases? Because you really want them to go back and, if they're self-correcting, and reread a whole sentence and really pull the meaning together. So just different things that you can notate. Like I said, later we'll get into it deeper. But like some things I'll do is I'll make like little slash marks to show like the phrasing, like what are they putting together, lines between words if they're choppy or word by word. Just anything that's going to help you later to think about where you need to go next with this child or group of children, or to group children together that have similar strategic behavior or lacking in a certain, like they're not using meaning at all, and you can group children based on, you're going to really focus on using meaning. Okay.
All right, so please give her a hand. All right, so you guys have about 45 seconds to digest the information that you just heard from Jill, a wealth of information from the rest of the team. And what you guys are going to do in your groups that you all have already done together is kind of before throughout some vocabulary and some terminology that you use when you think about running records. And now with this new information that you have, or additional information or revised information, however you want to put it, slash the trash on your chart paper. What are some of that information? Now that you have this new information in front of you, what would you cross off your list that really doesn't apply to running records as you probably did when you first started? So you got 35 seconds. I have to go here and fight.
That is a part of it, and we didn't go over that. say leaving, because that's like a part of giving it. I mean, it's not the part where you're actually involved in it. Yeah, that's a big thing. That's probably the biggest thing.
And that's right.
Yeah, being well with the coding skills, fluency, trying in trouble, scary. Y'all did cool. That's so cute. You did that.
Oh, well, we all came up with it.
The handwriting.
Oh, no, Miss Mitchell wrote it. Yeah. I did the green lines right through there.
Yes.
Shears are like crooked or something.
Yeah.
I guess that's, yeah.
Nothing good.
Okay, they're full.
Yeah. Say it out loud.
Can I get a representative from each habitat to come to the center of the room? A representative from each habitat, please. It's for a gift. Yeah. So that means there's 15 people, because there's 15 different animals. Yes, come to me, David. You don't need a chart. You don't need a chart. You don't need your chart. You don't need your chart. No. Alright, who wants to come? Alright, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Alright, 3 more people. Alright, 2 more. 2 more. Oh, 1 more. Yeah, we're missing some.
I'm a bear.
Come on. Represent your habitat. Come on, Williams. That's good. Yeah, 1 more. I know, 1 more. Come on, guys.
Who's got that thing? I think it's from Renato's group over there.
I know.
403.
I think it's from
Where?
Renato's group.
Oh, come on. All right, you all are lucky participants of this wonderful challenge. So, yeah. You know everyone wants a prize, right? You want a prize, right? Yeah. All right, so what we're going to do, I need you all to participate, is you need to call out your animal's sound, and whoever has the best sound is going to win that prize. So, all right, tell us your animal and go ahead and tell us the sound. Come on.
Good thing we put one Woody up there.
Is that an elephant? All right, go ahead. Quack, quack.
Oh, you got easy ones.
Eat more chicken. Hey.
Meow.
Cock-a-doodle-doo.
All right, let's give them a round of applause first of all for coming out here like this. And who do you think had the best call? All right, I'm gonna call. Ready? Clap. Miss Carmen. I think it was Miss Carmen. Yeah. All right, so we'll get your prize. Thank you all so much for coming out.
I want my prize. I want my prize. I want my gift. I did not know I was going to win up there with you.
Thank you.
Just to get up there.